Necrowretch, the French death metal band, I was almost going to say new metal there, released their fifth record, Swords of Dajjal, and I probably butchered the bit, but I've never heard the that third word in the title, so please don't please don't judge critically. But I honestly I was going to miss this one out, not because I didn't want to talk about it, I just almost missed out entirely because I was worried I wouldn't be able to cover the stuff I was planning to talk about, and this was kind of a last minute sort of thing I found and thought I'd review. So this is a band that plays with some blackened death metal for a good bit, but for the most part they are just your average death metal, and they definitely got the energy too of what you'd expect. I love the instrumentation on this one. And I think the ideas they open up with this track is great. It's got a dark, gritty presence throughout, honestly, especially with the track Vae Victis, which I think is one of the best tracks on the record. I will be honest though, I think when it comes to the death metal here, I think this album isn't quite as good as I was anticipating it would, especially when you had a strong opening like Ksar-Al-Kufar, which I think is probably, again, a top 3 track. I just love the way it just blasts into the first track, and I love the overall aesthetic of the fifth door as well. But I kind of find this album has a little bit of like slump to it. It definitely doesn't have really any filler because it's a short album. It's only 8 tracks, and one of them is kind of a short track, Daeva, I think you pronounce, which is probably my least favourite, but that's just because I think it's a little bit different from the just the way that each song flows to each other. But I do feel like some of it just kind of feels a little weaker in what you'd expect. I don't know what about, but I think it's some of the stuff in like Numidian Knowledge. I kind of find this track to be one of the weaker ones. Honestly, I don't know, it's just the instrumentation and everything's fine. I just don't think there's anything that stood out to me in that track, and I kind of feel the same with Total Obliteration. For the final track, it doesn't really do much. Honestly, it's definitely a weaker way to end the album off, but it's not a bad album either. I think it's got some crazy ideas, it's got some fun stuff for sure, and I know I can see a lot of people really getting a kick out of this one. I've never listened to Necrowretch before, and you can kind of tell this is a similar this is probably in a similar vein of what their previous stuff sounds like. It just definitely has that sort of aesthetic to it, but I like it. I like the darkness that these tracks have. I just love the how clean some of it sounds as well. Definitely some great elements. I just think as a whole it doesn't quite create a concrete death metal album in my opinion, but it's not a bad album, or even one I just say is meh, alright. It's a good album, but a lower good. I'll give it a 3 out of 5 because of that. It's got good ideas. I just think as a whole, execution wise, I wish there was a little bit more to it, but that's my opinion. Hope you guys enjoy. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video.